Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy RBG, aka the Random Black Gamer, back on another news update on Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. And you guys already know by the title what I'm going to be talking about, which is going to be pertaining to the newly introduced Saiyan God Mode. And I know that it's been surfacing all over the web, and I know I'm late as hell, probably a week late going into this. But you know how I am. You know I want to gather as much intel and information as I can so I can give it to you guys and have you guys really informed on what's going on and about the story at hand. But there are three things that I'm going to segue into, or two things that I'm going to segue into after I talk about the main topic, which is the Super Saiyan God Mode, and that being the fans that doubt Dragon Ball Z potential, you know, who just want the series to end. And there's always been this dumbass debate on if Saiyans could breathe in outer space, because I don't know if you guys remember the last trailer that was shown by Fuji TV with Goku and Vegeta or Bills going off in the space and fighting. People have been getting into a dumbass debate over if Saiyan can breathe in outer space, and I want to nip that in the bud. So regarding the news on the Battle of Gods movie, and also this new Oracle Fish that we've been hearing about, Akira Toriyama gave an interview, and it says apparently it's been 17 years since the last Dragon Ball animated movie. For all animation up to now, I basically just left everything up to the staff. So this is my first try at being involved in the story's creation. The keywords this time, God of Destruction Bills and Super Saiyan God, were suggestions from the scriptwriter, but they were good ideas for portraying a pinch of the main characters who had grown so strong that there was nothing higher. And if you guys remember, I mentioned this in one of my previous videos, that the Saiyans, you know, they're pretty much like on God status, if just a god. In actuality, you know, they fought off against foes that were so devastating that they destroyed planets, and they went off to uncharted nebulas and fought all these different foes, and they pretty much just overcame all obstacles. And you know, as age progresses, they gradually get stronger. When they get defeated in battles, or if they keep fighting, they get stronger. And also, if you guys notice, like the characters from a physical standpoint, from their outward appearance, they always keep the same appearance no matter how old they are. Like Goku and Vegeta, I know these guys have to be at least up in their late 40s or early 50s during the season 6 of Dragon Ball Z. Like when they were in the Buu Saga, they had to be at least knocking on 50 when they were facing off at Buu, and they basically look the same. Same can be said for characters like Nappa. They said that he was like 50 when he came on Earth, and look how he looked. The guy looked like he was in his mid-30s. So yeah, the Saiyans are pretty much just bred for battle. Continuing on, after first deciding on Bill's character design and background, I tried thinking of an original story, imagining if serialization had continued. I want to pause right there. If the serialization of Dragon Ball Z had continued. So this is basically like giving me some kind of preconceived notion that Akira Toriyama, you know, he's basically just putting it out there that GT really isn't canon material, and he's trying to say if the series of Dragon Ball Z were to continue, this is what he would want to happen. Not all that Super Saiyan 4 bullshit where Goku has to grind coffee just to grow a tail and become Super Saiyan 4. He would want it continued in the right way, with a proper subject matter, a proper story, and smooth continuity, not some rushed out bullshit. But yeah, I'm just putting it out there. Let's continue. What's more, the God of Destruction, Bills, who this time I designed with rare freedom, is a terrifyingly strong opponent, so overwhelmingly strong that he surpasses the dimension of previous opponents. But it's my trademark not to let things get too dark. At the very least, I'm satisfied to put together an entertaining work. By the way, the battle scenes in the second half are particularly overwhelming. It came out so much better than I imagined that I was moved. Just as you'd expect, Japan's animation is superb. Everyone on the staff, you really did a great job. Well, please enjoy the first Dragon Ball in a long time. I think this is going to be the best Dragon Ball Z movie in a long time. One of my favorite movies was Super Android 13 because the fighting choreography is so good. And Toriyama is stating that the second half of the movie is going to have the best choreography and some of the most overwhelming choreography and fight scenes, and a lot of destructive fight scenes, you know. It has the God of Destruction, so you know the fight scenes have to be epic. So that's pretty much a summary of what we have, you know, and why they came up with the Super Saiyan God Mode, because, you know, it's been years and years since the Saiyans have progressed as a race, and they're so high, you know, they're so high up that you had to have a God of Destruction to face them. So far, the story's looking great. I'm really liking the different aspects and dimensions that they're going to be going into pertaining to the legacy of the Super Saiyans, and also like all the different mini obstacles they're going to have to overcome facing this powerhouse of an enemy, Bills. And supposedly 39 years before the events of the Battle of Gods, this Oracle Fish, which here you go, there's a scan of them. Kind of reminds me of the slime from the Dragon Quest series. You know how Akira Toriyama is. If he can create a badass character, he can create the cutest character. And these little guys look cute. But anyways, 39 years before the events of the Battle of Gods, the Oracle Fish foretold the appearance of the Super Saiyan God to the God of Destruction. This revelation is what hastens the God of Destruction's awakening in the film and the genesis of the events of Battle of Gods. When Goku transforms into this form in the film, he powers up with a blue and white aura. A flash of the roaring great ape form then appears. Now, if you guys remember up in season 6 when Goku fought off with Majin Buu for the first time, he went to Super Saiyan 3. And like in that transformation, it kind of segued into a part where it showed kind of like a timeline of Goku's birth, like where it shows like a reverse timeline. It shows the Saiyan ape roar, and all of a sudden it shows it kind of gradually morph into like the post transformation of the Saiyan, and then it transforms back into like a little baby Saiyan. And I think that's why they're gonna show like the Great Ape, because it's kind of like the threshold they had to pass, like the Super Saiyans, like in order to achieve a new level of power. You know, and Goku, he doesn't have a tail or anything, so I don't know how he's going to transform into this Great Ape, but I think it's kind of like this threshold that he has to reach in order to gain access to these Super Saiyan God Mode powers. That's just my explanation. Now, to another topic, should DBZ end? I know a lot of people, you know, they've grown up with DBZ for the past 10 to 15 years, probably the past 20 years since the series has been out, pertaining to Dragon Ball all the way to Dragon Ball Z. Do I think it should end? I don't think so, because I think the possibilities are endless to what they can do with the story and with the character growth. You see all these other good DC heroes and Marvel heroes like Spider-Man and Batman and Superman, who kind of gradually evolved over time and become like the face of superheroes. And I think Goku represents the face of superheroes. Even though it's a Japanese character, he's still the face of superheroes that people remember. You know, he's a big part of people's childhoods, including mine. And I think that the universe of Dragon Ball Z could be expanded into something greater, just like DC universe and just like the Marvel universe. Why not have the series serialized up in the States where comics could make these characters even greater than what they already are? Because Super Saiyans, they're limitless possibilities what they can do with these guys' powers. So no, I don't think the season or the series should flourish anytime soon. Like, as interesting as these characters are, you know, it's been like 20 years ago since these characters were made, and they still stand strong. And I think we saw the series at least 15 years after it ended up in the States. That's what kind of makes it stupid in itself. So why would you say something should flourish after it being over? If you saw it up in the States and it was like 15 years after it ended, why should it flourish anytime soon? So yeah. And also regarding this stupid debate on whether Saiyans can breathe in outer space, I'm going to nip this in the bud and I'm going to put this to rest right now. I think that Saiyans can breathe in outer space, because if you remember in one of these earlier episodes of Dragon Ball Z, when Vegeta destroyed this planet, I'll let you guys see the footage right here. Hopefully Toei doesn't give me any problems. But as you can see, Vegeta is getting ready to destroy this planet, and he has to open up his space pod, which he does. And lo and behold, he's breathing in outer space with no problems. And yeah, it's right there. The proof is in the pudding. Breathing in outer space.
Immortality, here we come.
Goku in this movie is going to be breathing in outer space, or maybe he's in the Earth's atmosphere. Who gives a shit? It's up in the movie, so get over it. But anyways, you guys, this is your boy RBG coming in with another news update on Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's kind of a little unprofessional, but I hope I did a good enough job to inform you guys on what's going to be going down. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I will see you later. Peace out.